Now this is almost good. The only thing that I would like to do in addition is that I would like on each record to have a button that says edit. I will show you how to do an edit button, but you can actually put any button you ever wish on the side of your rows so that you can take actions. In order to do so, I need to tell the grid that I'd like these additional buttons, and I do it in the following way. So first of all, I need here to create my own button class. It's documented in the grid how to do that, and I will simply cut and paste it because it's a long definition, and I will explain what I'm doing. Essentially, I have to initialize this with various arguments. I want to have a URL to which the button leads when you click on it, and it will be edit. I will create an edit controller. I want to append an ID because I want the actual URL to look like edit/3, for example, if you are editing the third record. Okay, so I don't just want to send you to the edit URL, but I want to send you to the edit URL / the ID. Additional classes I give button again to make Bulma happy and produce a nice looking button. For the icon I say fa pencil, which is this pencil icon often used for editing. The text of the button has to say edit. I don't want any message, and on click is none. These you can look at the example for the delete button, but you can have essentially some confirmation message that pops up and asks you whether you really intended to click on the button, and only then, when you confirm, take some action, for instance. I don't want any such confirmation here, okay? So this creates my grid edit button class, and once I have it, I can go in my definition here of the form style of the grid, and I can say post action buttons. So these are action buttons that are appended after the classical ones of the grid, and I want to say that I want a grid edit button there. An object, actually, okay? I don't pass the class, but I pass a real object, okay? So if I do these and I do nothing else, I can, save, restart, and let's look at the effect on our grid. I can reload, and I can see that now I have this button, and if I hover on it, I can see that this goes to edit/1, this edit/2, this edit/3, okay? That's because I wanted to append the ID. So this looks great, and what I want to do now is add my edit controller. The edit controller actually is simple to do. It will be similar to our add controller, okay? So I'm gonna put it here, for instance. I'm gonna say action edit, actually edit, and it will have with it Olive's ID, okay? Method is equal to get and also post. This edit/Olive's ID, when you specify edit 3, Olive's ID will have the value 3, okay? That is what it's doing there, essentially. So once I have these, I say action.uses, and as usual I give db session and edit.html, okay? And here I can say def edits edit Olive's ID is equal to none, okay? Again, this parameter corresponds to these in the path, right? So now I have to create a form for editing olives, which is very similar to the form for adding, actually. So let me show it to you. The only difference is that in order to edit a record, I first have to read it. So I read it by saying, for example, record is equal to db.olives, and here I say Olive's ID. So this reads the record, And then I can do, if the record is none, this should actually not happen, okay? But I just put it for safety because the user could always manomit, could always tamper with the URL. And so in this case, I send the user back to the index page, okay? So that I don't do anything. And otherwise, I create a form. Actually, let me just cut and paste this form because it's very similar. So this whole code is actually identical, except for one small thing. And that is this form here will not be an empty form, but it will be an edit form. And so I need to say record is equal to P. Record is R, sorry. Okay, so the record that I'm editing is this record that I read, and I don't want to be deletable. Okay, I don't want that when you click on the edit button you can actually also delete the row. I don't know why, I just don't want it. If I wanted to delete it, I would delete it a different way. I don't like to have forms in which one can both edit and delete. It's just my my aesthetics, I think, for how I like to develop. Okay, so this edit form works, and actually if I need an edit page, I think I can just get the add page and make a duplicate of it. So I can just cut and paste it and call it edit, and I think that this should just work because in the end there will be only a form. So I think that this is just fine. Okay, so let me see whether this works. I need to restart Py4 Web. Okay, then I go here, I click on one of these edit links. For example, let us fix this one that has gross and net weight exchanged. So if I click on edit, I get the form. Suppose I make no change and I just submit. Ah, now it complains, you see. Because in the meantime I had added this validation. So now I can straighten this up, 700 and 200, quite watery jars apparently. Okay, I submit, and this all works. Except this olive kind that I didn't quite notice. So what is the business with this olive kind not being Kalamata and Piccoline? Okay, so here there is something wrong in the way the grid works. So notice that if I do edit, then the drop down works correctly, but if I do this, it doesn't quite work correctly.